this, and that, and you say everything you're checking it for, then you get the points for it. You know, the whole thing is to check the condition and everything.
Cause that's my whole problem. I can't remember the names of this stuff. I know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on here.
So we just turned it on, waiting for our pressure to get up.
Yeah. First thing I always do when I turn it on is make sure the ABS light comes on and then goes off. And right now I'm just building the pressure on it. You know the governor cuts in at 100 and cuts out at 125. And that's when you hear that sound that goes psh.
On the primary, right?
Well, you're always going to, when you do the air brakes test, you check the secondary gauge here, okay?
Okay.
And you're recording this like it's HBO.
Yeah, I was showing the air brakes test. I didn't know I was doing it for the paparazzi, but we're all right. We're rolling. You're cut out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we got all the pressure's built up on it, right?
Okay.
We got fully, the air is fully, it's in the system, everything's stabilized. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off. Okay. I'm going to turn my key back on. Just turn it on to accessories. Everything taxi goes back over. My tractor ABS light came on and went off, showing me that that works properly. Okay. Now right now, my gauges and everything, they're. I look at my secondary gauge. They're above 120, about at 125. Okay. The first thing you have to do, once you turn that key on, these are the two most important steps people forget. You turn the key on, the accessories tack over. That lets you know that you're going to look for your warning light to come on, and you're going to listen for your buzzer. You can't do it unless you got power from the battery going to that. Okay. Second thing you have to do is you have to release your brakes. Now, I chalked them before I got in, so these are chalked. You have to do it with a chalk. Okay. Now I'm going to wait for this to stabilize. Okay. When this stabilizes, what I'm going to do, just give it a second. When it stabilizes, first thing I'm going to do is test my service brake. It's hissing a little bit, that's okay. When you say what you're going to test for, and then you report the results. What I mean by this is you're going to push down on the service brake. I'm going to say it should not lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. I'm going to watch my secondary gauge. So I hold down my service brake. And usually if you're with the tester, he'll say, okay, a minute went by. And I say, well, okay, I did not lose more than 4 psi. I have to say that once I come off the brake. Okay, then that results is I was looking to see I didn't lose more than 4 psi, and I didn't. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is fan down the brake. Now the first part of this is I'm going to look for the warning light and the buzzer. So I'm going to go ahead and start to do that now. Just fan it down. Now you got to see the light come on and hear the buzzer. Then you can stop. Right now we can hear it, but we haven't seen the light come on. Come on. Okay, something's wrong. I'll tell you that, because this is supposed to pop out at above 40, the trailer brakes, and this is supposed to pop out above 20. I hear the buzzer, but I didn't see the light come on the dash. Okay, so you say it as it happens when you're doing it. Like something went wrong here. We're supposed to see the light and the buzzer. That's supposed to come on at 60 psi. That's usually supposed to pop out at 40 or above. That's supposed to pop out at 20 or above. We can hear it, but look, the light should be up on the dash. And this popped out before that. Looking at my gauge, this popped out right at about 60. See, that's too high. I'm going to continue to pop it down, see what happens. That should pop out at about 20. Sometimes they'll pop out, you can have both of them pop out at the same time at around 30. But when you're doing the brake test, see, that popped out. It's a little bit higher on this, but looking over at that one, that's my primary, but it's supposed to go out the secondary. It popped out a little bit high, but these two are working. So that's okay. This popped out above 40, and this popped out above 20. I know that these are holding. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is I didn't see that light come on. So that's something I have to tell a mechanic. But as far as when you do it, the 4 numbers you look for. 4 psi for the pedal, for the service brake, that you watch, you don't lose 4 psi in a minute. 60 psi, you get your buzzer to come on and you get your light to come on. At 40 psi or above, the trailer brakes should pop out. At 20 psi above, the tractor brakes should pop out. Now, usually how we do this is when these pop out, you pop out. But what you want to do before, you want to do a safe start. Make sure you're in neutral. Make sure you crank it back up. I usually take it back over to the other side, turn on the accessories off for a second, let it tack and come back over before I crank it up. And you want to do this to build up the pressure to do your tugs. Now the tugs are parking brake checks. That's separate. That's separate from this. So at this point you would have passed your brake test. But always call it as you see it. If something's wrong, say these don't pop out or this pops out below 20, you want to tell somebody to get that checked. Okay? So, but that's the end of that part. You guys will just do your tugs after this. Like I said, when these pop out, you pop out. When you're taking the test, never pull these out with your own hand. If the tester does it, that's on him, but you guys never touch these, okay? And that's how you do a brake test for, you know, if you're on the road, if the DOT officer wants to see you do a brake test, you do it just like that, okay? All right, guys, good on that.